Good afternoon and welcome to the 47th edition of Water Series webinar Dialogue with District and Municipal Administrators hosted by National Water Mission, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India. ये वेबिनार सीरीज नेशनल वाटर मिशन का एक इनिशिएटिव है जिसके थ्रू हम भारत की अलग अलग डिस्ट्रिक्ट में वाटर कंजर्वेशन और मैनेजमेंट के लिए इम्प्लीमेंट किए गए वाटर कंजर्वेशन इनिशिएटिव्स के बारे में अवेयर हो सके, उनको रिकॉग्नाइज कर सके और वाटर मैनेजमेंट में कम्युनिटी पार्टिसिपेशन के इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल को हाईलाइट कर सके। विदाउट अ डाउट ये वेबिनार सीरीज एक बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट प्लेटफॉर्म है टू डिस्कस एंड एक्सचेंज आइडियाज टू मेक इंडिया अ वाटर सिक्योर नेशन, और इस विजन को रियलाइज करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट कंसिस्टेंटली एफर्ट्स कर रही है। इसी लार्जर गोल को अचीव करने के लिए द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ जल शक्ति लॉन्च्ड कैच द रेन कैंपेन सो दैट रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग को एनहांस किया जा सके, एंड इसी कैंपेन के अंडर जन भागीदारी यानी पीपल्स पार्टिसिपेशन पर भी बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग फोकस है, so that any initiative undertaken for water security in India is sustainable and can be truly owned by the community. जल संचय जन भागीदारी का एक बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट फीचर ये भी है कि कैसे लोकल रीजन के बारे में जानकारी रखते हुए वाटर कंजर्वेशन टेक्निक्स को इम्प्लीमेंट किया जा सकता है। आज का हमारा वेबिनार इसी लोकल नॉलेज के यूटिलाइजेशन पर भी फोकस करेगा, and we will understand from the district administrators of two completely different regions dealing with completely different problems कि कैसे एरिया स्पेसिफिक नीड्स को ध्यान में रखते हुए उन डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में वाटर मैनेजमेंट किया गया। बट बिफोर वी बिगिन, आई वुड लाइक टू वेलकम आवर स्पेशल गेस्ट मिस अर्चना वर्मा मैडम, मिशन डायरेक्टर, नेशनल वाटर मिशन, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ जल शक्ति, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया। वेलकम मैम। We also have with us today Rahul Kardile sir, District Collector, Nanded, Maharashtra, and Aditya Vikram sir, Joint Secretary, Chief Minister's Secretariat, Government of Assam. Welcome everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. I would first like to request Archana ma'am कि वो हमें वाटर मैनेजमेंट में जन भागीदारी या पीपल पार्टिसिपेशन के क्रूशल रोल के बारे में बताएं, और साथ में ये भी बताएं कि प्रेजेंट टाइम में सस्टेनेबल वाटर मैनेजमेंट प्रैक्टिसेस का क्या नीड है, और उस पे हमारे अपने थॉट्स हमसे शेयर करें। ओवर टू यू मैम।
हम बताएं इससे पहले आप फिल्म चलाएं भाई, उसमें सब बातें खुद ही बता दी जाती हैं।
जलम जल स्थान गतिम सर्वथा एवं रक्षणीयम जंतूनां सुख जीवनम हेतु जलस्य रक्षणम नूनम भवतु। जल ईश्वर स्वरूप है, सौम्य, शालीन, जीवनदायक। प्रकृति का दिया ये जल रूपी वरदान पृथ्वीवासियों के लिए सिर्फ एक विरासत नहीं बल्कि एक जिम्मेदारी है जिसे आने वाली पीढ़ी के लिए संभालना आवश्यक है, और इस उद्देश्य की ओर पूरी निष्ठा से कार्य कर रहा है जल शक्ति मंत्रालय, भारत सरकार।
जल के बिना जीवन संभव नहीं। हमारी प्राचीन परंपरा में भी पानी के महत्व का वर्णन प्राप्त होता है। यजुर्वेद में कहा गया है, आपो हिष्ठा मोयो भवो, अर्थात इस धरती पर जीवन प्रदान करने वाला रस जल ही तो है। अनियोजित शहरीकरण ने तालाबों और झीलों जैसे जल संचय के परंपरागत तरीकों को लुप्त कर दिया है। हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए स्वस्थ और सुरक्षित जीवन के लिए करना जरूरी है।
जलवायु परिवर्तन के प्रभाव का विशेष ध्यान रखते हुए नेशनल एक्शन प्लान ऑन क्लाइमेट चेंज के तहत नेशनल वाटर मिशन की स्थापना की गई। राष्ट्रीय जल मिशन के प्रमुख उद्देश्य हैं जल का डेटाबेस सार्वजनिक रूप से प्रस्तुत रखना और जल संसाधनों पर जलवायु परिवर्तन के प्रभाव का आकलन करना, जल संरक्षण वृद्धि और संरक्षण के लिए नागरिक और राज्य कार्रवाई को बढ़ावा देना, शोषित क्षेत्रों सहित संवेदनशील क्षेत्रों पर ध्यान देना, 20% तक जल उपयोग कुशलता में वृद्धि करना और बेसिन स्तर के एकीकृत जल संसाधन प्रबंधन को बढ़ावा देना। जल संरक्षण हेतु 2019 में जल शक्ति अभियान की शुरुआत हुई।
जब किसी अभियान से जनता जुड़ी रहती है तो उसे कार्य की गंभीरता का पता चलता है। उसके सामर्थ्य का पता चलता है, उसके स्केल का पता चलता है, संसाधन कितने लगते हैं उसका पता चलता है। इससे जनता में एक सेंस ऑफ ओनरशिप आती है, और जो सेंस ऑफ ओनरशिप जो है ना, वो सफलता की सबसे बड़ी कुंजी होती है।
2021-22 में जल शक्ति अभियान कैच द रेन नामक एक खास कैंपेन शुरू किया गया। जल उपलब्धता सुनिश्चित करने हेतु प्रत्येक वर्ष एक मुख्य प्रसंग का अनुपालन किया जाता है। 2023 का मुख्य प्रसंग रहा पीने के पानी के सतत स्रोत, जिसका उद्घाटन भारत की राष्ट्रपति महामहिम श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू द्वारा किया गया। और 2024 में जल शक्ति से नारी शक्ति इस सिद्धांत को प्रबल किया गया। राष्ट्रीय जल मिशन का मोटो है रिस्पेक्ट वाटर फॉर लाइफ, जिसकी ओर बढ़ते हुए जल प्रयोग क्षमता बढ़ाने के लिए जल शक्ति मंत्रालय द्वारा पूर्णतः समर्पित प्रभाग भी शुरू किया गया है, ब्यूरो ऑफ वाटर यूज एफिशिएंसी। ये ब्यूरो कृषि, उद्योग और घरेलू क्षेत्रों में जल उपयोग दक्षता को बढ़ावा देता है, जिसके तहत विभिन्न हितधारकों से जुड़ना अनिवार्य है ताकि कार्यान्वयन हेतु मानक विकसित किए जाएं, जल लेखा परीक्षा को सुगम बनाया जाए, जल पद चिन्हों की पहचान हो, सामुदायिक जुड़ाव को सुविधाजनक बनाया जाए, अनुसंधान को प्रोत्साहित किया जाए एवं राष्ट्रीय और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर वाटर यूज एफिशिएंसी में सर्वोत्तम प्रथाओं को प्रदर्शित किया जाए। राष्ट्रीय जल मिशन द्वारा एक महत्वपूर्ण पहल की गई है, राज्य विशिष्ट कार्य योजना यानी स्टेट स्पेसिफिक एक्शन प्लान, जिसका उद्देश्य है जल संरक्षण, अपव्यय को न्यूनतम करना और राज्यों के भीतर तथा उनके बीच जल के अधिक समान वितरण को सुनिश्चित करना। एकीकृत जल संसाधन विकास और प्रबंधन के माध्यम से जल सुरक्षा, स्थिरता और समता प्राप्त करना है। इसके तहत जल की उपलब्धता, उपयोग और विकास से जुड़े वर्तमान एवं पुराने आंकड़ों का गहन विश्लेषण किया जाता है एवं मौजूदा जल नीतियों, योजनाओं और सर्वोत्तम प्रथाओं की समीक्षा कर जलवायु परिवर्तन के प्रभाव को समझने और उससे निपटने के लिए रणनीतिक योजना बनाई जाती है। स्टेट स्पेसिफिक एक्शन प्लान तैयार करने के लिए राज्यों एवं केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों को राष्ट्रीय जल मिशन द्वारा वित्तीय सहायता भी प्रदान की जाती है। प्रमुख राज्यों को 50 लाख रुपए की धनराशि एवं छोटे राज्यों एवं केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों को 30 लाख रुपए की धनराशि अनुदान के रूप में उपलब्ध कराई जाती है। एसएसएपी सूत्रीकरण के समन्वय और निगरानी के लिए राष्ट्रीय जल मिशन द्वारा 2 नोडल एजेंसीज को नियुक्त किया गया है। नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ वाटर एंड लैंड मैनेजमेंट, तेजपुर, असम, नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ हाइड्रोलॉजी, रुड़की, उत्तराखंड। इसके अलावा जल इतिहास नामक पोर्टल पर ट्रेडिशनल वाटर हेरिटेज स्ट्रक्चर्स की जानकारी सार्वजनिक रूप से प्रस्तुत की गई एवं जन भागीदारी को भी अत्यधिक प्रोत्साहित किया गया है। इसी कड़ी में एक विशेष पहल की गई है, जल संचय जन भागीदारी, जिसके अंतर्गत गांव का पानी गांव में और घर का पानी घर में इस उद्देश्य की ओर तीव्रता से कार्य हो रहा है। बोरवेल संरचनाओं पर विशेष ध्यान देते हुए आने वाले मॉनसून से पूर्व 10 लाख लो कॉस्ट आर्टिफिशियल रिचार्ज स्ट्रक्चर्स निर्मित करने का लक्ष्य निर्धारित किया गया है, जिसका उद्घाटन 6 सितंबर 2024 को सूरत, गुजरात से किया गया।
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के दूरदर्शी नेतृत्व में 2019 में जल शक्ति मंत्रालय का गठन किया गया। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जल को राष्ट्रीय प्राथमिकता बताते हुए जल संरक्षण को जन आंदोलन में बदलने की अपील की है। उनके मार्गदर्शन में जल शक्ति अभियान, कैच द रेन और जल संचय जन भागीदारी को जन आंदोलन में परिवर्तित करते हुए पूरे देश ने देखा है। अभूतपूर्व कार्यक्रम चलाए गए। इन प्रयासों से भूजल का स्तर बढ़ रहा है, जल संरक्षण को बल मिल रहा है और स्थानीय समुदायों को सामाजिक और आर्थिक लाभ प्राप्त हुए हैं। प्रधानमंत्री जी का सपना है कि भारत एक ऐसा जल समृद्ध राष्ट्र बने जहां जलवायु परिवर्तन के प्रभावों का डटकर सामना किया जाए और जल संरक्षण हर नागरिक का स्वभाव बन जाए। आइए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के इस विजन को साकार करने में योगदान दें और जल संरक्षण को अपनी जिम्मेदारी बनाएं।
मंत्रालय के इतिहास में पहली बार राष्ट्रीय जल मिशन द्वारा भोपाल में प्रथम अखिल भारतीय राज्य मंत्रियों का सम्मेलन आयोजित किया गया और स्वयं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय ने इस द्विदिवसीय सम्मेलन को संबोधित कर इसका उद्घाटन किया।
Water security is critical for India to achieve our vision of Viksit Bharat. Water scarcity affects agriculture, industry and our daily lives, with the greatest impact on the poor and the vulnerable, women and children. Addressing this crisis requires a multi-pronged approach. Government, businesses and individuals all have to play their part. This is a collective responsibility. We need to be mindful of our water consumption, adopt water-saving practices like rainwater harvesting, and contribute to a sustainable water future.
जल शक्ति अभियान के अंतर्गत लाखों की तादाद में रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर्स बनाए गए, अनेक जल निकायों का पुनर्विकास किया गया, विभिन्न जिलों में जल शक्ति केंद्र स्थापित किए गए, हजारों ट्रेनी प्रोग्राम्स और किसान मेले लगाए गए, वाटर बॉडीज की जियो टैगिंग और जीआईएस मैपिंग की गई और जिला स्तर पर साइंटिफिक डिस्ट्रिक्ट वाटर प्लान भी अपनाए गए। आइए हम भी जल शक्ति अभियान से जुड़ें और जल आंदोलन को जन आंदोलन बनाकर जल संकल्प को दृढ़ करें, क्योंकि संरक्षित हो जल तभी बेहतर कल।
Anyways, so good evening, Rahul. Good evening, Aditya. I'm so very delighted to have two stalwarts, I would say, in our service in the IS, and we all very proud of them. राहुल के बारे में मेरे मंत्री के जो सचिव हैं उदय चौधरी और जो हमारे जलगांव के जो डीएम हैं आयुष, दोनों ने इतना बोला था कि मेरे कान पक गए थे। तो मैंने इनको गूगल किया तो देखा कि मतलब खुद ही नहीं, बीवी को भी लगाए हुए हैं, पूरा वाटर कपल नाम से ये बहुत ही फेमस है, पानी फाउंडेशन से भी जुड़े हुए हैं। सो इनसे मतलब बहुत ही सीखने को मिलेगा। मुझे उदय ने कहा कि आप सिर्फ जो अपना शो ऑफ करते हैं ग्रुप में, डीएम्स का जो ग्रुप है मेरा, उसी को आप लेती हैं, बाकियों को मौका नहीं देती हैं जो चुप रहते हैं। तो पता नहीं राहुल ने ये बताए, चुगली लगाई थी मेरी उदय को कि नहीं, लेकिन तुम्हारे दो लोग मतलब मेरे पीछे पड़ गए कि अगर आप राहुल कार्डीले को नहीं लाते हैं तो मतलब आप पानी को समझती नहीं है। सो ही हैज दैट काइंड ऑफ फॉर्मिडेबल रेप्यूटेशन। एंड अनदर गाय, तो इसको तो मैं बहुत ही प्यार करती हूँ, ये इसको बचपन से देखा है बिकॉज ही इज फ्रॉम माय काडर। आदित्य विक्रम यादव, इनके फादर डीजीपी हरियाणा थे। ही इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट जो सोबर, सोफिस्टिकेटेड, बिल्कुल ट्रू ब्लू ब्यूरोक्रेट जो होते हैं, जो एक शब्द ज्यादा नहीं बोलेंगे, एक शब्द कम नहीं बोलेंगे, और मतलब ऐसे यू नो लास्ट ऑफ द मोहिकन्स वाले ट्रेडिशन में ये ढले हुए हैं। और इन्होंने मुझे याद है कि जब मैं यहाँ आई तो कुछ हम ट्रेडिशनल वाटर स्ट्रक्चर्स जो हेरिटेज स्ट्रक्चर्स है रिवाइव करना चाह रहे थे। असम से मुझे समहाउ नेशनल वाटर मिशन और जल शक्ति अभियान लोगों को लगता है कि वाटर स्ट्रेस्ड स्टेट्स के लिए है, तो ज्यादा रिस्पांस मिल नहीं रहा था। बट इसने शिव सागर में उस समय वो डीएम थे और अभी तो सीएम ऑफिस में है, और ही रिवाइव्ड लेक और अब जो है बट इनको जिस चीज के लिए आज बुलाया गया है इज फॉर समथिंग एल्स. किसी रिवर को तुमने कुछ रिवाइव किया है ना, सो उस पे करेंगे. और दोनों जो है, मैंने इन लोगों को गूगल पूरा स्पाइंग की है, दोनों बहुत सिस्टम्स पीपल हैं. ये बिल्कुल ही वैसे नहीं है कि बस अपना कुछ कुछ करके चले जाए और फिर जब चले जाए तो वो सिस्टम ढल जाए. क्योंकि राहुल भी शायद जो एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करेगा वो नांदेड़ का नहीं है, उसके पहले का है. तो आई एम होपिंग कि जब आप लोग बात करिएगा अपने इनिशिएटिव के लिए, तो यू विल आल्सो टॉक अबाउट हाउ you have tried to institutionalize it and how you've tried to involve the community. मुझे सेक्रेटरी ड्रिंकिंग वाटर ने स्पेशली बोला है कि विलेज हेल्थ एंड सैनिटेशन कमिटी के रोल को भी अगर even if it's not in your presentation, if you could just highlight. So over to you, Ananya. I would not want to take much more time except that whoever is going to go first can start speaking.
Yeah, sure,
Thank you.
ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your words. And काफ़ी अच्छे से मैम ने इंट्रोड्यूस कर दिया है राहुल सर और विक्रम आदित्य सर को. So I would first like to invite Rahul sir to share with us कि किस तरीके से उन्होंने वर्धा डिस्ट्रिक्ट में वाटर स्कैरसिटी और ड्रॉट की समस्या को resolve किया, and through community participation, what kind of initiatives he took in the district. And over to you, sir. We will just start with the presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your kind words. So, Ananya, can you run the presentation?
Yeah, just a second.
So while Rahul speaks, I think we can mute ourselves.
Yes, ma'am, we can. Sure. Our backend team is just sharing the screen for the PPT. Just give me a minute. Yeah, it's here.
Thank you, madam. Actually, the work presented today is pertains to my earlier tenure in Varda. So, madam, मैंने try किया है कि as much information मतलब मैंने collect किया है. So, I would like to present before all of you. Next page. मैडम जो बिफोर रिवाइवल जो मेन की चैलेंजेस थे, वर्धा इज अ मेजर डिस्ट्रिक्ट इन विदर्भा. Actually, rainfall is moderate, but there is a basic issues like flood management and water management. So there were some key issues like monsoon flooding in city and adjoining area. Then there is a summer scarcity because the Kharif area under cultivation is 4 times than a Rabi season. So it clearly indicates that water mismanagement in Varda, because there is average rainfall is 100 centimeter. Still, the Rabi crop area under Rabi is very less. That is around 1 lakh hectare, and under Kharif is a 4 lakh hectare. So that was the second challenge. And third thing, ma'am, there is a Dham river flowing nearby Varda city. And the origin of Dham river was fragmented. Most of the nalas which joins river, they were silted completely. So that was the main challenge. And fourth thing was the reduced groundwater table. That was initial observations by GSDA. So that is a problem statement. And accordingly, we devised a plan how to go about it. So next please. Our first initiative was river rejuvenation, that is a Dham river. Then there was a groundwater recharge in artificial recharge structure. Then maintenance of existing system, reviving them. Third is water body revival, and fourth is promoting micro irrigation. Next. So, ma'am, we selected 175 villages depending on the reports from MRSAC. Those zones watershed which are overdrained and having groundwater level very less. So we initially went for that. 175 villages were selected. Plans were made, and plans were made accordingly because all the people from villages, in coordination with grassroots level functionary like Gram Sevak, Talati, Krushi Sahayak. So we ensure that plans should be exhaustive, because most of the times there are many old structures made by Jila Parishad and Krushi department, and those are now in abandoned conditions, because most of the structures made in those era where actually site selection was very correct, and unfortunately due to maintenance, poor maintenance, they are completely out of use. So that was our major task. So we prepared a Jalikta Abhiyan plan accordingly. Secondly, in order to cater RV and Ashti Taluka from Wardha district, we had a MOU with Kamal Nayan Bajaj Foundation, that is a NGO which is working in Wardha. And ma'am, there is a one model under Jalikta Shivar in Maharashtra, which the financial sharing architect is like 45 from NGO, 50% from government, and 5% from public community. But since Wardha is an agrarian district, is a suicidal prone district, and human development index is low. So even gathering that 5% it was a key challenge, but we tried to convince people, and we could manage those 96 villages to collect 5% of amount, and we could enter into MOU with Bajaj Foundation. So in that 96 Nala deepening in 96 villages were planned, and the total length was 215 kilometers. So that is a substantial area which covers 96 villages of Wardha district. Next. So these were some works from Wardha, like storage bandhara, cement nala bandh. Next. 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 So this was a MOU with Bajaj Foundation, where we went into MOU for a Nala deepenings. The village covered were 96. Families benefited more than 10,000. Area was around 70,000 acres. And the total length of for Nala deepening was 215 kilometers. That was a very ambitious plan. And the project cost was 14 crores. Out of that, 45% were borne by Bajaj Foundation, and the remaining were government and 5% by local community. So the map shown the area where we identified the overdrain watersheds, and we went for Nala deepening works. Next. So these are some of the pics from RV and Ashti Taluka. Next. Next. Along with Nala deepening, ma'am, most of the time when we do Nala deepening, the silt again, whatever soil is excavated, is again went into the Nala. Most of the times, if proper care is not taken. So, in addition to this, we engage social forestry department, because this burn needs to be stabilized. So, stylohamata grass and bamboo plantation was actually taken. 38,000 bamboo plantation work was planned, and now most of the work has been done. Due to this, it not only stabilizes the burns, but it also provides food, fodder, and fuel for the farmers who are adjoining to these nalas. Next. So, ma'am, these are some of the aerial pics which shows how work has been done. The total length was 215 kilometers. That was a huge task. And out of that, ma'am, when I was still there till November end, so 110-kilometer length has been completed. So 36 villages have been covered so far, and 12,000 hectare area has been benefited due to this desiltation work. Then for 38,000 bamboo, as I already told, we have planned that, and work is already in process. Next. Then we also engage Art of Living NGO in some of the villages. They also in same model, 45, 55%. So Art of Living are also doing the work. Next. This is the second scheme by government of Maharashtra, Galmukta Dharan Galyukta Shivar. As name indicates, we have to deseal the all water bodies, and we have to spread the same uh, rich and nutrient silt in our farms in order to increase productivity. So in this scheme, the marginal farmers uh, are also given some benefits from government in Maharashtra. So this scheme is also becoming very popular in Maharashtra. So that was second thing we undertook. Next, these are some of the figures. Next, next, next. The Ma'am, government of Maharashtra has issued one GR 2 years back. Chala Januya Nadila, meaning let's know your river. So this GR actually empowers the village level committee along with district administration, and you have to survey all the villages, those who are situated on the banks of river, and you just have to uh, aware people, because a lot of the things in river bank is changing fast, because there is a sand mining, then there are gray and black water directly going into the rivers, then there is a huge deforestation which is taking place, and which is ultimately causing scourging in KTVR, scourging in nalas. Then there is a flow of river being changed. So we have to just awaken the people that due to your local activities, the health of water in river is becoming very worse. So that was the just awakening, or in sort of making them conscious. So that was the only thing. No funds or no financial support were provided. But however, due to studies emerged from the villagers, we some points came to our knowledge. As I earlier told, the fragmented origin of Dham River, complete siltation of nalas which were leading to Dham River were totally blocked. And depending on the studies which came forward with the studies of villages, we take some initiative. Personally, me, my DCF, some expert in river rejuvenation study, we surveyed personally surveyed the origin of Dham for 3-4 days, and we found some important things like the fragmentation of the origin. And through district planning committee, I sanctioned more than 2 crores funds, and we undertook projects like deepening of nalas, CCTs, deep CCTs, Gabion structures, LBS structures, and we could restore the Dham River origin area. 90% of the work has been completed. I can show you some pics in next page. Next. Next. This was the earlier deliberations. Next. Ma'am, these are the pics, aerial views of from origin of Dham. You can see that entire region was completely blocked, and all these nalas were again opened through the public participation and funds provided through DPC. Next. Ma'am, these are some pics, and we ensured that quality work should be ensured, because some most of the time it may happen that such works become contractor driven, and it's in the deep jungle. So they thought there could be no verification or inspection, so we may not ensure quality of the work. But since our presence was there, and almost I personally visited the site more than 7 times, so they were very cautious, and the pre-work pictures and post-work pictures were documented, and we could do really nice work in the origin of Dham. Next. Then the third thing, with the help of Gram Sevak Sangatna in Karanja, we more than 390 Vanrai Bandhara were made. Vanrai Bandhara is a very small structure. It's a sandbanks and specifically used to stop post-October flow of river. So we made more than 390 such Vanrai Bandhara in that is completely free of cost. We just have to need some bags and sand. So that was one of the important initiative and aspirational block of Karanja. Next. This is the fourth initiative. Ma'am, we have one Hanuman Tekdi, that is popularly known as ITI Hill in Wardha district. And there is a Mahada colony which is located at the foothill of this hill. And in every monsoon season, there is a heavy rainfall, and the Mahada colony is inundated and flooded. And there are many nivedans, many morchas and complaints every year. So one such morcha actually prompted us to visit the area, and we have exhaustive survey of the area. This area actually it has very good jungle because this area is looked after by a local committee, Nisarga Seva Samiti, and this hill was completely barren before 15-20 years. Now it's a very dense forest. However, water conservation work has not been initiated. So after our survey and our study, the entire hill was actually the CCT, deep CCT were made, trenches were made, and the three corners you can observe at the bottom there is a big recharge shaft. Such three big recharge shafts were actually prepared at the bottom of the hill, so that the entire water we could stop the runoff. And there is no complaint from Mada colony citizen now about flood, inundation and flooding. And at the same time, we could save a lot of water on the hill. So that was one of the good initiative. Next, some of the pics. And now this site has become an ideal spot to study water conservation structure for NCC students, NSS students. And every year there is actually some batches comes to learn how deep CCT is made, trenches are built. So you can see the pictures. Next. This is a Shramdan made by our team and Gram Sevak Sangatna. This is Vanrai Bandara, very small structure, and you can build such structures in hardly 30-40 minutes. So this is very useful, especially after October, is made after October month. Next. Then there are actually, these are normal schemes of government which promotes micro irrigation. Next. Some of the farm ponds. Next. So, ma'am, these are the general thing, but I just wanted to highlight the Dham River origin, the ITI Hill work, and the 391 Vanarai Bandara made through the help of Gram Sevak Sangatna and local villagers. So these were some of the initiative, ma'am. Due to March end, I could actually some of the pics and some of the information I could not collect. But ma'am, I will assure you that I will get some better high quality pictures and I will send you. Thank you. That's all from my side, ma'am. And thanks again for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul sir, for sharing with us the various initiatives undertaken in the Wardha district, both for water conservation also and for water management. ड्रॉट की समस्या को भी हल करने के लिए और रेन वाटर फ्लडिंग की वजह से जो प्रॉब्लम्स होती है उनको भी सॉल्व करने के लिए जो आपने इनिशिएटिव्स लिए, कम्युनिटी पार्टिसिपेशन, एनजीओ पार्टिसिपेशन, पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप, काफ़ी step wise approach tha, and it was really good to know about all these initiatives that you undertook. Now I would like to request Aditya sir कि वो हमें बताएं कैसे उन्होंने आसाम के एक रिवरल आइलैंड में, जो कि एक फ्लड प्रोन रीजन है, वहाँ सॉइल इरोजन, वाटर सरफेस रन ऑफ जैसी प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व किया, एंड थ्रू दोज इनिशिएटिव्स वहाँ पे लोकल इकोनॉमी को भी एक बूस्ट मिला. तो सर प्लीज ओवर टू यू, प्लीज शेयर योर थॉट्स विद अस.
Thank you, and very good evening to Archana ma'am. First of all, before I start, I would want to thank ma'am She is perhaps the only senior officer in all of Government of India who takes the effort of getting in touch with district collectors all across the country. And through these gentle nudges, ma'am has really transformed the entire National Water Mission and has catalyzed projects such as
Hardly gentle.
ma'am, as long as there is no stick, I think there are only carrots. So, my heartfelt gratitude to ma'am for allowing me to remain in the group even after I demitted my post as collector. And ma'am, I would just want to say that my efforts dwarf in front of Rahul sir's work, commendable work which sir has done in Wardha. And ma'am, we will continue to learn from all such examples through all the present and future podcasts. Ma'am, my work was in a district named Sibsagar. Sibsagar, as the rest of Assam, is not a water deficit area. We, in fact, suffer from a water surplus, mainly due to the increased variability of water in the Brahmaputra in the 4 months of floods as compared to the rest of the year, which results in major flooding across the floodplain and needs to be combated through a range of mitigation and adaptation efforts, which have to necessarily involve the community. Now, before I move on to the PowerPoint presentation, ma'am, especially in terms of water conservation, there were 3 or 4 things which we tried out in Sibsagar. The first, ma'am, as you had mentioned regarding water heritage structures, there are large pukhuris across the dominion of the erstwhile Ahom kingdom, which ruled from the year 1228 for a period of about 600 plus years. About 40 such large tanks are available in Sibsagar district. One of the largest of which is in the middle of Sibsagar town, which is called the Bor Pukhri or the Big Lake. The structure of the tank is such that it is built in the middle of 4 embankments and has another water body on all 4 sides, which is called the Yamuna.
I think, Aditya, there is some mismatch between what you're talking and what is being shown on screen. Ananya, can you show or is
No,
it that
it is
are
just
you
something
just
I
talking?
wanted to start before
Okay.
the PPT, ma'am.
Okay.
Because the PPT is not necessarily related to the National Water Mission.
Okay.
So the
Go on.
Borpukri, ma'am. So we rejuvenated. So the Borpukri's level was going down for the first time in the last 300 years due to encroachment on the Yamuna, which is a 5-kilometer water body along the borders of the Borpukri. So through the State Disaster Mitigation Fund, we were able to engage the community to revitalize the entire Yamuna and also revive the Bor Pukhri. What that has also done is that has allowed us to send it as Assam's official nomination for the tentative list of the World Heritage Sites in the cultural category, which I'm sure in the coming years will help develop the Bor Pukhri and water heritage structures across the state even more. I'll move on to the PowerPoint presentation. So this was work which was regarding creation of bamboo forest development and elephant corridor restoration in a remote area of Sibsagar, which was done on a riverine island in one of the remotest and most economically deprived parts of the district in the year 2023 and 2024. Now, the intention behind this project was to bring some sort of economic viability in an area which is prone to encroachment, which is prone to constant river erosion, and was not being utilized for any economic purpose whatsoever. In this particular case, we took a fallow piece of land, a riverine island, which was about 10 square kilometers, and largely used by cattle herders to herd cattle and to supply milk on a limited area. This area was utilized to create bamboo forests over about 120 hectares of land through NREGA and through a public-private partnership with the local private party, who was engaged in a manner so that the bamboo plantation comes up at zero cost to the government, through the investment of the private party, and the gains through the monetization of the bamboo in the coming 50 years are divided 50-50 between the Zilla Parishad, Gram Panchayat and Anchalik Panchayat on one side and the private party on the other. The main challenge in such government programs are twofold, especially when it comes to plantation and forestation over large areas. The first is from the forest department, which occasionally tends to regard those areas as proposed reserve forests. And the second comes from the government itself, as in we find it very difficult to continuously maintain any such forest areas without the presence of a permanent workforce. So we utilize the services of a local private party to plant and to maintain the bamboo plantation. This particular area fell in the middle of an elephant corridor, and those elephants used to come from across the river, from Arunachal Pradesh and from the fringes of the Kaziranga to the mainland of that particular area, and used to raid paddy fields, used to raid homes, and used to result in death and destruction for a period of time every year. So what we additionally did in this particular project was, through the NREGA route, developed a number of silviculture plantations, largely comprising of napier grass and vetiver grass, on about 12 hectares in that particular area, wherein those plantations were developed so that it could be used as a restaurant, if you will, for the elephants. And it delights me to inform this house that this year there have been no incidents of any elephant depredation in the entire mainland region. We also planted other crops such as banana and paddy, wild paddy, for the elephants, so that they don't tend to go onto the mainland. So now, coming back to the bamboo plantation, we can move on to the next slide, madam. Coming back to the bamboo plantation, the intention behind this was the coming up of the bioethanol refinery by NRL in Golaghat district, which is about 120 kilometers from my district border, which was looking to utilize more than 1.6 lakh bamboo poles a day for production of ethanol. Now, given that there was a significant deficit of bamboo in the entire region, as there was in the entire state, there was significant pressure through the NREGA route to plant bamboo on unutilized areas. Now, we realize that this particular area is extremely well suited to plantation of bamboo, and will help us in utilizing the proceeds of such bamboo plantations towards monetization. Now we are in a place where after planting the bamboo has grown far higher than what we had initially imagined. And we hope that from the year 2027, we will be able to sell that bamboo and allow for the proceeds to go to both the Zilla Parishad and to even the Gaon Panchayat, wherein the utilization of such proceeds can be decided by the members of the Gram Panchayat themselves. One major challenge, ma'am, which we faced was the raiding of the bamboo plantation by the elephants themselves, who ate most of it. But given the resilience of the crop, it is such that the roots started propping up again. And now we have a luxurious plantation throughout the area, ma'am. Next. We have also gone on to the gold standard, ma'am. Gold standard is a carbon credit registry from where we will utilize the carbon credits and monetize it at about $10 per unit. And the proceeds of this will also be going directly to the Zilla Parishad, where it can be used for infrastructural projects. And ma'am, we really hope that in the coming years, this model is utilized not only in the state of Assam, but in different parts of the state, wherein the maintenance part of such plantations is outsourced to genuine private parties, and the proceeds can then go not to the exchequer but to the people of that particular area. Next. These points have been mentioned. Next. So these are some photographs, and mostly, ma'am, this was done through the services of the local population, who helped us tremendously and planted all of the bamboo themselves, and now have a stake in the project to the extent that they themselves protect the entire plantation. And we really hope that in the coming days, there are bamboo-based industries in that particular belt, and that can be monetized for public benefit. Next. So on the in the middle of the second row, you can see the vetiver plantation as well, which is utilized as a restaurant by the elephants who come in every month to feast on the grass. Next. So that is about all, ma'am. I will not take more of your time. That was all from my side. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Aditya, sir. From a water scarce region to a water surplus region, we moved and we got to know about how bamboo plantation was actually leveraged for boosting the local economy and dealing with a human-animal conflict kind of a problem. It was actually great to know about the initiatives that you have undertaken. And now I would like to request Archana ma'am to please share her thoughts on both the initiatives shared by Rahul sir and Aditya sir, and share some key takeaways from the presentations. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks, Ananya. I think both the presentations were beautiful, and the beauty of both the presentations was that, they focus on two aspects that we are focusing on right now under the Jal Shakti Abhiyan. On the one hand is storage, which is, India has one of the lowest storage capacities in the world. We are around 250 odd cubic meter, whereas USA is 5,000. So our storage capacity, despite the fact that we have 5,000 to 6,000 dams, is one of the lowest in the world. Second is, our policy focus right now is more on water deficit. Then, whereas flood management, riverine and coastal management is also an equally big issue. The river healths are a big issue, which Rahul has pointed out. So, on the one hand, we have initiatives which are more suited to water deficit districts like Wardha. On the other hand, we have Aditya's presentation on, riverine initiatives which can be taken and how it can also help water. So both presentations were equally wonderful. And from Rahul, my takeaway is that how, he has pillared his initiatives into, river health, storage, community involvement, and he has gone about it very, very systematically, without being shrill, without, making loud noises. And I'm sure that, whatever you've done, you have you've created also an institutional structure of perhaps, being managed by the Zilla Parishad or by the Village Health and Sanitation Committee. Because you see, the biggest challenge that we are facing in the Jal Shakti Abhiyan is operation and maintenance. While we are desilting structures, Rahul's presentation also pointed out, if we don't operate and maintain, and there is extreme deficit of availability of fund, whether be it Parishad funds or any other funds, in operating and maintaining these structures so that they don't silt up or they don't have debris again after 2-3 years. So I hope, Rahul, I would like to hear your response on what have you done for institutionalization. And Aditya, we are trying, like this year, you may be aware that the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, from storage and groundwater, we are now also moving towards river health rejuvenation through this Jal Jungle Jan Ek Prakritik Bandhan Abhiyan, where we are taking up 13 river basins, DPRs of which had been prepared in 2023 by the Ministry of Forest and Environment and our with the help of inputs from the Ministry of Jal Shakti, and which are now going to be implemented again through convergent funding and also Campa funding. There's a lot of funds under the compensatory compensation fund for cutting up trees. So Campa funds are available, and I would urge that all district magistrates to use these funds, because you see protection through both of your presentations have highlighted that protection of the catchment and protection through afforestation and social forestry measures is very, very important, both for the soil health and for the health of the rivers. So that was one common theme which was emerging from both your presentations, that how trees play a very important role in ensuring that the storage structures or the rivers don't silt up again, or that soil is not eroded, there's less salinity. So that is a focus which was not there in the previous abhiyans, but in this abhiyan we're trying to focus on that. We're also trying to focus on, like under Jal Jeevan Mission, so many water supply schemes have, been constructed. I think around 15 crore out of 19 crore households. So, but the sources of these, one of the focus of this year's Abhiyan, which was also the focus in 2023, we are continuing that focus, is that sources of these water supply schemes have to be strengthened, because pani rahega tab to nal mein milega. So that is another focus which through this channel and through this medium, if DMs are listening, that should be also one of your focus, because the success of the Jal Jeevan Mission is dependent on the success of the Jal Shakti Abhiyan. And if we don't, look at what is the source, which is, are we extracting a lot of groundwater? If we are doing, then can the whole water supply chain or the system recycle the water, put it back, so that we are not extracting groundwater, which is already under stress. So success would be dependent, or are we through convergent funding, making other small structures, not big structures, but small structures, and making them the sources with perennial, as a perennial water source through recycle, reuse, recharge, which is again a policy which is still more on paper than in the field that we are seeing, but it has great potential. That you recycle water, put it in the system. In Singapore, when we drink straight from the tap. Even in Surat, when I went to the Surat Municipal Corporation, they made me drink sewage water, which they, through tertiary treatment process, they had converted to, to potable water, and it was purely drinkable. Of course, these technologies are very, very costly. Like tertiary treatment plant operation and maintenance is an issue for a place like Assam, having these huge structures. So, but if you all are open to the new technologies, then there are very many cost-effective local solutions. There are very many nature-based solutions, which I think already Aditya has emphasized in his presentation, that you go for nature-based solution. Like even for riverine islands, Aditya, I would urge that one has to be very careful whether we should, make the riverine island a concretized structure where then again, people start living, and the natural flow of water starts to get decreasing. Maybe not in this year, but in many, many years. So we also have to look at the future, and our present policy is now urging for nature-based solution, for low-cost solutions, for using our traditional wisdom. Even in like I keep telling that Jal Shakti Abhiyan is, or Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari is equally important for Assam, because you have issues of no water in Guwahati during the lean seasons, because all the water that is there during the floods, goes out to the river, and you have a declining groundwater table, or you have a polluted groundwater table. So there are issues where, recharging or storing rainwater is equally important for a state like Assam, like it is for storage or for groundwater boosting in places like Wardha. So I guess that both of you have highlighted issues which are completely different, and that was the intention of this DM dialogue, because most of the time we are just taking the water deficit states and not the flood prone states, whereas National Water Mission and the Jal Shakti Abhiyan focuses on both. And in both, creation of water bodies of different types are equally relevant. So fantastic presentation, and I think Rahul, the Kan Pakana of Uday and this Ayush has really benefited us, because we have learned a lot from your presentation. And Aditya to is a person with style, so he has gone and earned carbon credits also. So, but Aditya, I would the only point where I have a difference in your presentation is you urging private people coming in. I think better if the next DC develops the capacities of the existing people to manage carbon credits also, and to manage the whole scheme, rather than getting a good private player. Because in these kind of schemes, first in Assam, getting an outsider to within to do something, a person who's not local invites a lot of opposition. And so better is, and plus, why give away the profits which are due, which can be given to the people, local people, if their capacities are built. So now that you are in CM office, I think you should steer the program in such a way that it becomes very, very local, and it has the potential to become a big best practice of, and really scaling up to other states which face problems like what you do in Sibsagar. At the same time, urging that not that we have to be very cautious in any intervention which relate to riverine islands or SOR areas, or diaras as they are called in Bihar, because they are also, they also maintain the river ecosystem. So we already have example of Majuli becoming a district from being a river island. So while all that, development is good and we shouldn't come in the way, we also have to look at the future. After all, Punjab, had great water tables at this time, and now most of the districts of Punjab and Haryana are under dark zones. So we cannot just rape nature for development, and at the same time, we cannot, just be activists of nature to stop development. As bureaucrats, we've always learned balance, and that balance and moderation is what I see. I see a little, I would love to see a little more community ownership and community ye in all the presentations that come for the talks, that how community is taking it forward and we are taking a back seat, because that is the real motive and the objective of the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, that as Honorable PM says, that किसी भी देश की सफलता तभी होती है जब वो जन भागीदारी से चले. So on that note, thank you, both of you. And if you all want to respond to any of my points, welcome. First, I invite Rahul.
Thank you, ma'am. On the first point regarding ownership, this is very important. Ma'am, as we can see, the area under Rabi cultivation is growing in Marda. So last year it was 1.25 lakh hectare. Last to last year it was 1.12 hectare. And in 2022 it was 19,000 hectare. So once they reap the benefit of Rabi, they themselves actually take care of that is one of the approach, because once they get the benefit of Rabi crop, then they learn the importance of maintaining the water bodies. So that is one thing. But however, ma'am, there is a lot to work on this front.
Because, under the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, I'm seeing a lot of proactiveness by the DMs. Of all the 10 lakh Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari structures which have been uploaded, 21%, which is a big number, 21% are through PPP mode or through community action. So only, but 80% is through government initiative. And since these are small structures, one would like to see more of community taking over, because that's the only way, community has to realize that water is not something which is a private property, or groundwater is not a bapati of a private person. It is public good. So that awareness towards community ownership, pushing the community and raising consciousness. Even Jal Doot is a great program in Assam where, these school students have become water champions. So more work in both your presentations, which I found missing, was how have you mobilized the community? How have you involved the existing, panchayats or the village health and sanitation committees? How have you involved community more? Because as DM, if you just do, and once you leave, forgotten. And people will again go and desilt. The other DM may feel jealous, your successor, and would say ki chodo jo Rahul or Aditya ka kaam hai, nahi karenge. But if you leave it with the community, then they will be forced to carry it forward. Aditya, your 2 cents?
Ma'am, that is absolutely correct, ma'am. However, I think, ma'am, sometimes the work of the government is that if you are not able to convince the community of something, you start something and then allow the community to take it over. So perhaps it is, ma'am, that balance which some of us are just trying to get to, ma'am. But without community support, ma'am, no program can be a success.
Abhi, I don't know if you guys have seen PM's Man Ki Baat, where he gave this example of some Gadak district in Karnataka, where pehle a small number of people just started some small action and then the whole community came together. So you're very correct that government can, be a catalyst. Okay, if nobody is taking interest, show them. And then, but all your programs, all your initiatives, not only right now, even in your future when you work in the field, should always have this in mind that after Aditya, no deluge. After Rahul, no deluge. After me, the deluge syndrome should not be there. I'm not saying about you two, but in general, we suffer from that. The IS suffers from that syndrome. Young collectors suffer from that syndrome, that after me, the deluge. So wo nahi hona chahiye. And any program, which has been successful has been where community owns it up right from the project stage. So I think slowly we are, inbuilding it in our programs, in our schemes, or but more work needs to be done, because Assam mein I faced a lot of apathy from the community in the initial years. हम लोग के समय तो और भी community involvement नहीं होता था, and it was just the DMs and collectors. But अब community has become more informed, and उनको अगर लगेगा कि ये benefit है तो उसमें जरूर करेंगे. And I think your program that way, that's why I'm saying warning कि don't give it to a private money or whoever, just ask the next, just let the community own it and they'll run it better. Of course private can be involved in training and capacity building, that they are good at, लेकिन जहां उनको profits में involve करोगे तो उनका vested interest आ जाता है, और opposition भी होगा, फिर तुमको वो पूरा आएगा कि ये कहां से आ गए. तो वो तुम next DM को, who's taken over you?
Ma'am, Ayush Garg sir from the 16 batch.
अच्छा अच्छा, हाँ आयुष इज अ गुड ऑफिसर, तो उसको देखना कि ये प्रोजेक्ट, क्योंकि देखो ये प्रोजेक्ट में पोटेंशियल है टू बी सर्कुलेटेड एज अ बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस.
These are
तो यू
local
है,
boys from that particular locality. The private part,
हाँ
so-called private party, these are local boys who've just done well.
हाँ तब ठीक है. आई थॉट कि बिडिंग करके यू गेट बिड आउट और वो नहीं. हाँ, इफ यू मीन लोकल बॉयज तो ठीक है, if it's an employment opportunity. Okay, Ananya, I think we have discussed enough. We can open it to questions if there are people who
Audiences
have.
are there, ma'am, but questions are, we're not taking up questions from the audiences here.
Why?
Ma'am, I don't know. We thought we'll not take
No.
questions. Okay, we
Take it,
can.
take it.
Okay. We
Take
have
it.
the
If they have raised their hands and asked, so we have to be accountable to the people. Don't get scared.
No.
If you have two stalwarts, Rahul and Aditya, who can handle questions. But
Okay, I'll
नहीं
just,
है तो ठीक है,
I'll just check
लेकिन
that.
हाँ.
Yes.
In fact, I would suggest to APAC कि इसको धीरे धीरे make it जैसे in water digest one used to see कि कौन देख रहा है. एक तो लाइव देखते हैं लोग फेसबुक पे, और कुछ जो लाइव आते हैं रजिस्टर करके, तो that gives a good ये कि okay ये सुन रहे हैं. Otherwise, it's just like talking to each other. So that format change you can suggest.
Sure.
I'm not
Definitely.
saying right after this, but later also.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, we have one question. Somebody from Subran Villa is saying, हमारे एरिया पर जल का कमी से सिर्फ खरीफ क्रॉप्स ही उगा सकते हैं, रबी क्रॉप्स नहीं उगा सकते, उसका क्या? एंड इनिशिएटिव्स तो लिया जाता है लेकिन सेंट्रल से पैसा नहीं आता, नेता एंड ऑफिसर्स take the money but it's not disbursed on the ground, and assembly पर कहेंगे they have taken the initiatives, but village economic agriculture per depends, and it's not the, basically he's saying that ground level initiatives are not
Is he on
happening.
call, or can he be taken on call?
I'll just ask the back end.
Oh, is he willing to come on ये? Rahul will answer this reply. लग रहा है कि तुम्हारे क्षेत्र से हम सब मिलके रिप्लाई करेंगे. अच्छा है, ऐसे ही क्वेश्चन होना चाहिए. पब्लिक should question us. We are not saying the system is perfect.
I've just asked if
Okay.
we can be taken on the call. Yeah.
हाँ.
No, that is not going to happen. Sorry.
So his question was, can you break it up? And Rahul, can you respond or should I respond?
एक तो रीजन है कि वाटर मैनेजमेंट का इश्यू होता है, जो रबी मतलब ना लेने का मेन रीजन है. बिकॉज मतलब रबी सीजन है जिसमें जो पॉपुलर क्रॉप्स है हमारे महाराष्ट्र में, एक तो वीट है, देन चना है, एंड उसके बाद जो ऑयल सीड्स है, तो उसको 3-4 मतलब 3 watering are sufficient, because generally आपने अगर देखा तो it's around 100 days crop, 110 days crop. तो 3 मतलब आवर्तन उसके लिए सफिशिएंट है. बट एक तो वो रीजन होता है कि नॉन अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ वाटर, एंड सेकेंडली कुछ कुछ जगह पे वाइल्ड एनिमल्स दैट कैन बी अ मेजर इशू. तो जैसे कि विदर्भा में दैट इज मेजर इशू. तो उसके लिए एक हमने चंद्रपुर में जब आई वाज जिला परिषद सीओ, तो हमने टर्मरिक क्रॉप प्रमोट किया था. दैट इज एक्चुअली जो वाइल्ड बोर है वो टर्मरिक को मतलब वो खाते नहीं है, they are actually repellent. So actually we promoted 100 acres turmeric. We funded them through district mineral funds, and now the area is more than 1,000 hectare. So the crops which are actually repellent to the wild boars, that can be one approach. Secondly, biofencing. तो बायो फेंसिंग में कुछ प्लांट्स है मैम, जो फॉर एग्जांपल बाम्बू प्लांटेशन है, या फिर देर आर सम प्लांट्स, उसको इंग्लिश में क्या बोलते पता नहीं, करवंद जो होता है, मतलब उसको थॉर्न होते हैं. तो वो अगर प्रमोट किया जाए थ्रू नरेगा, तो बायो फेंसिंग कैन बी ऑप्शन टू प्रोटेक्ट क्रॉप्स फ्रॉम वाइल्ड एनिमल्स. तो वो दैट कैन बी सोल्यूशन. बट वाटर इज द मेन इशू. अगर आपने वाटर मैनेजमेंट किया या फिर फार्म पॉन्ड अगर किया, दैट you can protect your crop. Only 3-4 actually times you have to apply the water. And fourth thing is the micro irrigation like sprinkler and drip. So by that way you can enhance rabi production. हमने वैसे ही किया था. हमने तो the results is मतलब in front of us, because if you see the figures, the rabi production has gone up in Wardha. Thank you.
So ये राहुल, टू सप्लीमेंट यू, हमारे जो पोर्टल पे बहुत सारे बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस हैं. एक बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस जो मुझे याद आ रहा है, जल जगाड़ और हर खेत में को तालाब. ये सब बांदा डिस्ट्रिक्ट में, जल जगाड़ छत्तीसगढ़ के धमतरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स के इनिशिएटिव्स हैं, जिसमें लोगों ने जैसे कि राहुल ने कहा कि रबी सीजन में मिलेट्स या लेस वाटर इंटेंसिव क्रॉप्स जिसमें पानी कम चाहिए, उसको करके, बिकॉज देखिए हम तो खुश होंगे अगर रबी में कुछ नहीं जाए, क्योंकि वो पानी के लिए अच्छा है कि आप ग्राउंड वाटर एक्सट्रैक्ट ना करें, बट वो लाइवलीहुड के लिए, फार्मर्स के लिए अच्छा नहीं है. तो हम व्हाट वी सजेस्ट, एंड जो 2-3 बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस है, आप हमारे बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस पोर्टल पे जाए, आप हमारे जल शक्ति अभियान के बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस जो अपैक ने ई बुकलेट्स निकाले हैं, उसमें बिल्कुल यही है कि आप कैसे दो क्रॉप कर सकते हैं खुद से. जैसे हर पेड़ हर खेत पे मेड़ और हर मेड़ पे पेड़, ये एक बांदा का बहुत ही फेमस ये है इनिशिएटिव है, जिसमें वही एक छोटा सा फार्म पॉन्ड बना दिया जाता है एग्रीकल्चर फील्ड के, जिसमें रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग होता है, और उसमें कुछ ट्रीज भी ऐसे डाल दिए जाते हैं जिससे आप कुछ लाइवलीहुड फ्रूट ट्रीज या जो भी आप कर सकते हैं, जो कि आपके और रबी क्रॉप आपको पानी मिल जाता है, क्योंकि पानी आप स्टोर करिएगा तब तो मिलेगा. ग्राउंड वाटर को ही एक्सट्रैक्ट करते जाइएगा तो फिर पंजाब हरियाणा जैसा एक समय आएगा कि जब पानी रहेगा ही नहीं, तो रबी क्या खारिफ में ही प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. सो एक तो वो है. दूसरा, आपने जो कहा कि असेंबली में ये वो बोलते हैं, तो एज ब्यूरोक्रेट्स वी रिफ्रेन फ्रॉम पॉलिटिकल कमेंट्स, उस पे हम कुछ नहीं बोलना चाहेंगे. दूसरा, अनन्या.
Ma'am, we have a lot of questions, actually more than 100 comments and questions coming up. So
तो वो रहना चाहिए ना, that's what makes it interesting ना.
yes.
So we will take 4 or 5 which you prioritize.
Okay.
That is up to you, because 5:30 may I have another meeting and I think the rest also would have to go. तो 3-4 क्वेश्चन जो तुमको लगता है जो स्क्रीन पे भी फ्लैश कर रहा है, जो सजेशन नहीं है, जो एक्चुअल क्वेश्चन है, जो सजेशंस है उसको तो नोट करके भेज देना.
Okay.
जो क्वेश्चन है वो तुम डिसाइड कर लो which one.
Okay, AK says that as first goal of National Water Mission says, comprehensive water database in public domain and assessment of the impact of climate change on water resources, we must first proceed with collecting accurate water usage data with the help of water auditing systems. How can that be done?
एक तो सजेशन के लिए धन्यवाद, बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। और दूसरा कि हम वैक्यूम में नहीं हैं, ऑलरेडी जो वाटर डेटा है, there is a lot of water data on the portal, and also India वारिस करके एक वाटर रिसोर्स इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम है हमारे मंत्रालय का, जिसमें ये अभी बहुत काम चल रहा है कि हाउ टू इंटीग्रेट storage wise, flood wise, you know, thematic integration, states में क्या हो रहा है, यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, कैसे एक लाएं, एक बहुत ही बड़ा वो काम चल रहा है जो कुछ ही दिनों में बहुत सारे चीज उसमें लाइव भी हो गए हैं और बहुत सारे चीज लाइव होने हैं, बट इट इज अ ब्यूटिफुल प्रोग्राम जो कि पूरे वाटर डेटा ऑफ इंडिया को तरह तरह के सॉल्यूशंस, एआई, इंटरनेट ऑफ थिंग्स के साथ, ये सब जो आप वाटर ऑडिटिंग, सारे चीजों को एक जगह पे ला रहा है. So that is one good thing. Maybe राकेश सर जो इसको हेड करते हैं, उनको हम कभी ला सकते हैं वाटर टॉक में to explain इसके बारे में more, because इस पे बहुत काम चल रहा है. This whole data in public domain, बहुत सारे और not only कि सिर्फ information के लिए, even for informed decision making. So इसमें और पब्लिसिटी की जरूरत है, बट काम बहुत हो रहा है.
We have one question from Biplab Sengupta. How is the Jal Shakti mission leveraging emerging technologies like IoT-based water metering, GIS mapping, and AI for groundwater monitoring to improve efficiency, transparency, and decision-making in water resource management?
So, सबसे पहले विप्लव, what I want to say is that the Jal Shakti Abhiyan or the National Water Mission is not an implementing mission. It doesn't exactly implement schemes. It does through convergence, whether be it with ministries or with states or with even local bodies or with DA district collectors. So ये जो है Jal Shakti Abhiyan is an umbrella which brings together, and National Water Mission is an umbrella. You can say a think tank kind of mission. It is not a implementing mission, जैसे कि आप solar missions है और ये वो है. So leveraging technology जो है, एक तो how to leverage technology is there are many works going on in the ministry, in other divisions, जैसे कि हर सेक्शन में, be it CWC, be it CGWB, be it flood management, be it अटल भूजल, हर जगह टेक्नोलॉजीज जो न्यू है उनको यूज किया जा रहा है to bolster the existing programs and schemes. कुछ एग्जाम्पल जो नारायणपुर कर्नाटक में is one example which comes to mind, जो completely IoT based है, जहाँ पे आपके हाथ में एक फोन रहता है और आप soil moisture content देख के टाइप करके आप पानी exactly उतना ही ड्रॉप जाता है. So एक कर्नाटक का नारायणपुर is coming to mind. Then even for mapping of the water bodies, even for mapping of water bodies, we are using GIS, and we are going beyond GIS, and also we are going in for building district water body atlases, जो कि सिर्फ coordinates ही नहीं देखेंगे, उसका area देखेंगे, उसमें जो content है, through use of technology, space technology, ये हो रहा है. Then benchmarking of efficiency of irrigation. Sorry. उसमें which is a World Bank supported CWC project, उसमें AI and both AI and ground truthing is coming in a big way to map what is your exact irrigation efficiency, what is on-farm efficiency, how much water is getting lost in evapotranspiration. So बहुत चीजें हो रही हैं, ये बस अभियान में नहीं हो रही हैं. It is happening all over in different sections of the ministry.
We have another question from Anmol K. He's asking, is there any system to calculate the exact amount of groundwater which is extracted by each farmer so that we can focus on increasing water use efficiency?
Anmol, that's a very good question. Currently, what we have is, we have wells and piezometers, जो कि area wise groundwater बढ़ा घटा around 4 times in a year वो measure होता है. So that is how we are doing it right now. It is village based, area based, but and some schemes are piloting it for field based. But अभी इसको pan India miss implement नहीं किया गया है कि आप. But yes, it is. मतलब अभी to go to such depth nahi hai, but it is under consideration that can we map because abhi hamare jo groundwater assessment maps bhi jo hai वो 1:70,000 के रेशियो पे हैं, तो कैन वी गो डीपर 1:10,000 के स्केल पे ले जा सकते हैं कि नहीं, कैन वी गो टू field individual field level. अब individual field level I don't know technically feasible है कि नहीं, और whether आप पानी को ऐसे बांध के रख तो नहीं सकते कि आप एकदम अपने field में कर लें. So I don't know, but that's a good question and we will note it, and I will have to get some more technical inputs on this. Because being a historian, मुझे इस बारे में नहीं पता इतना technical.
Okay. We have a question for Rahul sir actually, from Vimal Vaklu. He's asking, why can we not have an integrated approach? The chemical fertilizers are destroying the water table and thus the health of people. If we switch over to organic farming, we can avoid contamination of the water table in the first place. So he's asking, why are we not taking a organic approach towards?
Actually, this is a very big challenge and complex issue. We have to go gradually, and actually at smaller scale we are doing in phase manner, but I think that will take time because completely shifting from our chemical to organic may not be possible, but we have to go it in a phase manner. For example, Pani Foundation in Maharashtra, now they are switching from Pani Water Cup to Farmer Cup. So actually the main focus is to increase productivity and reduce input cost. That is the only two things which are in our hand, because market rate and climate is not in farmer's hand. So one of the solution to reduce input cost is to switching from chemical to organic. And now next year onward, Pani Foundation is launching Farmer Cup in all the talukas of Maharashtra. Earlier it was restricted to some of the talukas, very few talukas. And last year they started with Wardha, taking whole district as a model. And now next year onward they are going entire Maharashtra. So I think that is a big step. And as a part of reducing input cost, I hope many people will switch to organic. But that is a gradual thing.
I will supplement Rahul what he's not saying very frankly. I will say कि आप पंजाब में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पे सब्सिडी दोगे, आप सोलर वो पंप्स को प्रमोट करोगे, आप पानी को ग्राउंड वाटर एक्सट्रैक्शन एकदम फ्री कर दोगे, सोलराइजे हमारे ही प्रोग्राम्स हैं जो कि एक्सट्रैक्ट करते हैं ग्राउंड वाटर और फ्री हो जाता है. मतलब पंजाब में बिग प्रॉब्लम इज सब्सिडी कि आप पानी बिजली का ये नहीं करते हैं, मतलब सब्सिडी करते हैं, आप ये करते हैं तो फार्मर्स तो इकोनॉमिक्स से ड्राइव करेंगे ना. उनको अचानक से कहना कि आप केमिकल खत्म कर दो और कम उपजाओ लेकिन हेल्थ वाटर अफेक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए, ऐसा तो होगा नहीं ना. मतलब दैट इज बीइंग वेरी वेरी इलॉजिकल एंड वही हैविंग अ वेरी व्हाट शुड आई से अ वेरी एक्टिविस्ट काइंड ऑफ अप्रोच. there will be no balance. अगर आज हम ऐसा पॉलिसी ले आते हैं कि सब बंद कर दीजिए, आप और या हम कहते हैं कि आप बिजली पे सब्सिडी रोक दें ताकि ग्राउंड वाटर एक्सट्रैक्शन कम हो जाए, तो वो तो एक दिन में आने वाला नहीं है. तो पीपल का माइंडसेट चेंज होना होगा, उनकी लाइवलीहुड भी, देयर ऑलवेज हैज टू बी अ बैलेंस बिटवीन लाइवलीहुड एंड नेचर कंजर्वेशन. मतलब आई रिमेम्बर कि मेरे फादर प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर के एरिया में काम करते थे, एंड प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर केम एंड ऑल वर्क वाज स्टॉप्ड एंड विलेजेस आफ्टर विलेजेस खत्म हो गए उनके लाइवलीहुड्स. So there always has to be a balance, and ये कहना कि of course कि perfect should become the enemy of good, वो नहीं हो सकता है. नहीं तो there are so many issues जो कि पानी को हम बिल्कुल स्वच्छ रख सकते हैं, बट साथ में हम लोगों को भूखे भी मार सकते हैं. तो वो बैलेंस होना होगा. अब आप ऑर्गेनिक पे आ गए जिसमें सर्टिफिकेशन जरूरी है. कुछ साल बाद जो अब ऑलरेडी पीएम सर ने लॉन्च किया है नेचुरल फार्मिंग, फिर नेचर पे आओ, तो ऐसे स्विच ओवर तो टाइम लगेगा ना करने में. सो वो दैट इज द मेन इशू, दैट स्लोली वी हैव टू, देयर इज दिस होल पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ वाटर. So we have to be gradualists in this, and I get very incensed when जब आते हैं लोग with perfect solutions and say कि ये आप क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं आप लोग. हम समझते हैं कि वो होना चाहिए, but वो टाइम लगेगा, और वो कर देंगे तो बहुतों के पेट पे भी लात पड़ेगा. So there has to be a balance.
We will take one last question, which is for you,
Yeah.
ma'am. Sanjeet Singh is asking that recharge well construction के लिए क्या community level पर government की तरफ से कोई subsidy है?
अब गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से अभी कोई भी जल शक्ति अभियान स्पेशली के तरफ से कोई सब्सिडी नहीं है, लेकिन रिचार्ज अर्बन एरियाज में बहुत सारे अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज में अगर आप रूफटॉप रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग करते हैं, जो रिचार्ज पर्पसेस के लिए करते हैं या स्टोरेज के लिए भी करते हैं, तो जैसे दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट का मुझे पता है कि कुछ वो सब्सिडी देती है. इस तरह से बहुत लोकल एरिया स्पेसिफिक अब हमारे पास वो ज्ञान नहीं है. इनफैक्ट इट्स अ गुड आइडिया टू कलेक्ट कि कौन से जो मतलब सब्सिडीज हैं जो लोकल एरिया पे दिए जा रहे हैं, बिकॉज एज सच हम अभी एटलीस्ट जल शक्ति का मैं कह सकती हूँ, बाकी मुझे देखना होगा कि दूसरे स्कीम्स अगर कुछ देते होंगे, बिकॉज देयर आर सो मेनी अदर स्कीम्स जो ग्राउंड वाटर स्टोरेज प्रमोशन के लिए दूसरे मंत्रालय के भी है. 45 स्कीम्स हैं, अभी हम उनकी स्टडी कर रहे हैं. तो अगर उनमें देते होंगे तो देते होंगे. हमारे तरफ से अभी कोई सब्सिडी नहीं है, लेकिन बहुत सारे इस तरह के इंसेंटिव और सब्सिडी स्कीम्स लोकल म्यूनिसिपल बॉडीज देते हैं. जैसे कि दिल्ली में दिल्ली जल बोर्ड कुछ करता है रूफटॉप रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग के लिए, कुछ 50,000 सब्सिडी है. इसी तरह से आप अपने म्यूनिसिपल एरिया या अपने पंचायत में देखिए कि है या नहीं. हमारी तो हमारा जो फोकस है वो सब्सिडी का नहीं है, वो है कि कम्युनिटी आप पैसा लगाओ, और कम्युनिटी बन के ये 50,000 में ये यहाँ तक कि हमारे कुछ जो रिचार्ज स्ट्रक्चर्स हुए हैं स्टोरेज के, वो 1500 के भी हुए हैं रायपुर के क्रेडाई मॉडल से, कि 1500 में रिचार्ज स्ट्रक्चर्स बने हैं. 50,000 में बड़े बड़े रिचार्ज स्ट्रक्चर्स स्टोरेज स्ट्रक्चर्स बने हैं. तो हम अभी मतलब सब्सिडी देने का भी ऐसा मनसा नहीं है, क्योंकि हमारा है कि जो जन भागीदारी में जो समर्थ लोग हैं वो फिलेंथ्रोपी करें, गिव बैक करें. अभी तक फिलेंथ्रोपी का कॉन्सेप्ट किसी स्कीम में इतने बड़े पैमाने पे नहीं आया था. जो हमारे आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री ने बोला कि कर्म भूमि से मातृभूमि तक आप करें, तो जो समर्थ लोग हैं, तो सूरत के बहुत सारे लोगों ने सब्सिडी क्या पूरे 45,000 स्ट्रक्चर्स राजस्थान में कमिट किए हैं बोरवेल के बनाने के लिए, तो वो अपने पैसे दे रहे हैं. तो ये एक गिव बैक का स्कीम है. इसको हम सब्सिडी दे के अभी तो हम इसको बर्बाद नहीं करना चाहते, बिकॉज कम्युनिटी इज रियली कमिंग फॉरवर्ड. लेकिन हाँ, टारगेटेड जहाँ पे गरीब है और ये है, तो लोकल एरियाज में वो किया जा सकता है. वाटर स्टेट सब्जेक्ट है, बट हमारे पास जल शक्ति मंत्रालय की तरफ से एटलीस्ट कोई ऐसा स्कीम अभी है नहीं.
Okay. Can we take one last question? It's from Brahmadatt Sharma.
Yeah.
If there's time.
That would be last because I had a
Yes,
meeting
yes.
with 5:30.
Yeah, it's the
So,
last question. He's asking, विलुप्त हो रही नदियों को पुनर्जीवित करने के स्थान पर क्या तालाब निर्माण कार्य को प्राथमिकता दी जा सकती है?
देखिए, जैसे कि मैंने कहा ना कि किसी भी पॉलिसी में कोई कुछ करने से कोई दूसरा देयर सम गेन, तो कुछ उसमें मतलब नेगेटिव इफेक्ट होता है. जैसे कि अगर हम रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग कर रहे हैं और बहुत ही जोर से कर रहे हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो नदियों का इको फ्लो को अफेक्ट करेगा. पानी या इरिगेशन हम इस तरह से कर रहे हैं, कैनाल्स बना रहे हैं, तो जबकि नदियां बहुत जरूरी हैं. इनफैक्ट नदियों का पुनर्जीवन और रिजुविनेशन उतना ही इम्पोर्टेंट है जितना कि ग्राउंड वाटर का जो लेवल्स को इम्प्रूव करना. तो वो बैलेंस बना के चलना होगा. हम एक तरफ नहीं झुक सकते हैं कि सब तालाब बना दो, हर जगह पानी को रोक दो और नदियों को ड्राई कर दो, बिकॉज नदी ड्राई होने से पूरा एक इकोसिस्टम खत्म हो जाता है. सो वो हमारा जो पॉलिसी है कि 25% नेचुरल इको फ्लो होना चाहिए. आपको शायद पता होगा कि यमुना का बेसिक प्रॉब्लम यही है. दिल्ली में क्यों मतलब यमुना प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं हो पा रहा है, बिकॉज एक पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रेच है यमुना का, जो ये कैनाल्स बनने के चलते उस यमुना नदी में पानी नहीं है. तो हम कितना भी क्या भी कुछ कर ले, जब पानी ही नहीं है, तो अनलेस हम उस स्ट्रेच को पानी दे के रिवाइव नहीं करेंगे, तो हम सफर ही करते रहेंगे. तो इसीलिए वो बैलेंस बहुत जरूरी है. तालाब भी जरूरी है, नदी भी जरूरी है. ये इफ और इज दैट, ये सब नहीं हो सकता.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the responses. And thank you, ma'am, Rahul sir and Aditya sir for being a part of the 47th edition of Water Webinar series. And thank you to the audience for the wonderful questions. And we'll be back with the series with other interesting stories and initiatives of water conservation and water management, emphasizing on the community participation too. As ma'am said, that Jan Bhagidari, Jan Sanrakshan tak ka sabse important part hai. Thank you everyone for being here with us today.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Ananya, for steering it well. It was a commendable first time, performance. You look very confident. So do you seem